Once this guy named Ralph wanted to get rich, so he decided to try and train a dog. Ralph found his dog in a box outside of the local Target store. Her name was Mindy. Ralph was hoping to turn the dog into one of those famous animal actors like in the movies. Ralph's training basically consisted of whipping and yelling at Mindy. Mindy would have done anything for Ralph if only he would simply show her some love. All she wanted was to be loved, and Ralph didn't seem to know how. After several months, Ralph gave up on the training and went door to door in his neighborhood trying to give Mindy away. No one wanted a beaten dog. Mindy couldn't understand a thing Ralph was saying. She assumed that he had finally come to his senses and was telling them how much he loved her. Upon returning to his failed attempts of giving Mindy away, Ralph made a sign. Mindy couldn't read, but she was sure the sign read, "An awesome dog that I love lives here." After making the sign, Ralph got his axe and began to sharpen it. He was mumbling, "I could sell your meat to the Korean restaurant." Suddenly, a blue jay riding on the back of a turtle approached and got Mindy's attention. "Hey, dog," said the blue jay. "Your owner's trying to get rid of you, and now he's going to chop you up with that axe. Follow us. We know someone who can help." The blue jay and turtle brought Mindy to an old fence a few houses down and told her to make a wish into a knot hole in the fence. "I wish Ralph would love me," barked Mindy into the hole. An old eye appeared through the hole and it spoke. "Your wish is granted. Return to Ralph and you will be loved." Mindy thanked the eye and wasted no time running back to Ralph, who was still mumbling and sharpening. Just as she arrived at Ralph's feet, Mindy had to take a dump. "OMG," she thought. "Pooping in front of Ralph is a no-no. I'm getting a whipping for sure. That dumb old eye didn't help at all." But, to Mindy's surprise, she heard a squeal from Ralph, and when she turned to look, she saw no poop, only pieces of green paper and Ralph throwing them into the air and actually laughing and smiling. Whatever the wise old eye had done was working. Ralph was hugging and kissing Mindy. She was happy. However, things got very weird one day when Ralph seemed to want her to poop more than normal. He was acting crazy and he actually stuck his hand up her butthole. Hugs and kisses were one thing, but this was taking the love a little too far. Mindy quickly ran back to the wise old eye and demanded whatever Ralph was doing with the hand up her butt thing stop immediately. The wise old eye agreed to help Mindy this one last time and warned her never to return to the fence again. Mindy agreed and her wish was granted. Meanwhile, the nice Italian man from down the street was paying Ralph a visit. It seems that Ralph had an outstanding debt to pay with the Italian man, but he had spent all of his new Mindy money on cans of Red Bull and cable TV. The Italian man gave Ralph 3 hours to pay up, or else. When Mindy returned to Ralph, he was acting stranger than normal. He was on his hands and knees pleading for something. He offered her some chocolate. Mindy loved chocolate, so she gobbled up the entire bar. Before Mindy even finished chewing the chocolate, she felt the urge to poop again. And once again, she was pooping out that fucking green paper. "Oh, damn it! That was a laxative bar and the wise eye didn't change a fucking thing." Ralph was laughing hysterically and loading the green paper into a canvas sack. Ralph ran down the street to the Italian family home with the sack of green paper in his hand. Ralph handed the sack over to the big Italian dad and watched as he reached his giant paw into the sack. Suddenly, the Italian dad dropped his cigar from his mouth and pulled his hand from the sack. Instead of green paper in his hands, there was real poop. Mindy's poop, all warm and smelly, all over the Italian dad's hand. Ralph turned pale white. The wise old eye had changed things after all, and was teaching Ralph a lesson at the same time. The Italian dad and his son Marco stuffed Ralph into an old olive oil drum and wheeled him to the sidewalk for the garbage men to take away. Then the Italians approached Mindy. "Oh crap," she thought. "They're gonna put me in a drum too." But the Italians calmly took Mindy back to their house, bathed her, fed her, and kept her as their own. Living with the Italians was great for a couple of years, until Marco turned 16 and was given an IROC Z28. He stopped playing with Mindy, and the Italian dad gave her to an old lady at the rest home. And the moral? Money is shit. And being nice to your dog and get us stuffed into a big fucking drum.